Hey listeners, Kyle aka Player 2 from Arcade Bros. You are enjoying another show from the Four-Eyed Radio Network, The Fern. For more shows, visit foureyedradio.com.
This Four-Eyed Radio production is brought to you by America Joy Print Shop. All your printing needs taken care of in one convenient place. Visit americajoy.com for business cards, flyers, banners, decals, car wraps, and more. Visit americajoy.com.
Save file corrupted.
Hey, fellas, it's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. If your sink is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers. Hooked on the brothers.
Sorry, my voice is a little talked out today.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, we just had an epic podcast, which you can listen at punchingthewallsreality.com.
Power of the Nova Force.
Yeah, Power of the Nova Core, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be straight out of Austin. But this is Save File Corrupted, the video game podcast. So here, Battlefield 4 has been having some issues.
Yeah, I've just been ranting about like all the issues that happened like since launch. Like, freaking, there's an issue going on with the single player. So you know, like save file corruption comes in all sorts of forms, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the most common indicator that you see on games where like don't turn off the fucking system while I'm saving.
Yeah.
You know that save file corruption where you just exit the game or something like that. So the most fucked up thing, like the Battlefield 4 launch, literally starting the campaign, and like the next time you go into like multiplayer, the way like multiplayer saves, it corrupts the single player save file.
Wow.
Things that two things that should never be connected.
Yeah.
Like, so you play a campaign, you literally can't finish it if you don't do it. It's like Nintendo style. If you don't do it in one night, you're not going to beat this game. You're not going to be Mario. There's no save.
The princess will never be safe.
Yeah. Those on PS4. That was on all platforms. Not everybody was experiencing, but like, yeah. That shit was crazy. All the server issues still going on.
Yeah.
People just get randomly disconnected.
It's pretty terrible.
Download. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Freaking, they didn't, apparently there's a lot of horrible balance stuff, so apart from all the launch issues, the game hasn't been balanced yet. So, which can be done in a patch, but they're so behind, because there's so many bugs, they have to fix the game first and actually make it work before they can fucking make the balance changes, so the actual gameplay will be good, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So the subtitle for Battlefield 4 should just be clusterfuck.
It's a clusterfuck right now. Like, I honestly, like, I would literally wait to buy Battlefield 4.
It's unfortunate, because it's like one of those games, it's like, I really want to like it, you know, it's just like, come on, guys.
It's really good. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just so many issues. Like, off the bat. Freaking, I remember testing out something for work, and basically you go into went into a server for Battlefield 4, and just going around everywhere, and I get into a vehicle, and the whole camera starts shaking. It just started like shaking around, just a graphical shake. It just like, I was like, is this a dirt road, or am I just fucking freaking out?
Shaking like Chuck Berry doing the twist.
No, I guess the topic is that I haven't known. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of companies who have had as many consistent launch date issues as EA.
Yeah.
It's like the games are never, ever finished on time. You know what I mean?
It's like they're like 80%. Good enough.
Or like nobody tests them or anything like that. Like obviously there's bad games, but like a company that consistently does that, you know, it just seems. Maybe looking at it from my point of view, maybe it's just more apparent. I can't see it. Like I don't play like every Ubisoft game, but I think as far as companies go and games I play of them, I think Ubisoft is the next company I play like the most games of. Or maybe the most. I play like Splinter Cell, Prince of Persia, Assassin's Creed.
I guess it's one of those things where it's like, at least with those games that they have issues, like, the main mode of the game is still functional.
Yeah, it's still functional, yeah. It's like, this feature won't work for a little bit, but everything else works.
Yeah, I think one of the other unfortunate things, one of the topics there, is that, they're having so many problems that it's like interfering with like other games that they're working on. Like they have to pool all their resources into trying to fix Battlefield.
Yeah.
So apparently, like it's slowing down, like Star Wars Battlefront and Mirror's Edge.
Yep.
It's just like people would really love to see those.
Well,
games.
not only that, but all the DLCs that they have for Battlefield.
Yeah, and the DLC
nothing
as
is
well.
launched at the time, and You know how you see like veteran ranks and stuff like that, and you get unlock a cool weapon, with your veteran status.
Yeah.
So they did away with veteran status, but if you have vet status from Battlefield 3, you get a veteran pack in Battlefield 4. Mm-hmm. Like as soon as you get it, you get like a veteran pack, and you get like your like the ACB, the QCB 90, that orange knife.
Oh, okay.
I never got that.
So you're
exactly.
not a veteran, bro.
Nobody has received this veteran pack.
Why?
It's supposed to be because it doesn't work. Oh. They have no idea.
Because it's Battlefield 4, sir.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is something you're supposed to get day one, a veteran battle pack.
I never even heard of it, and I've been keeping up on everything Battlefield.
You're supposed to get one.
Yeah, like my vet status is now like 6.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to show any vet status, but you'll get a veteran pack. Nobody has received a veteran pack.
Wow.
It's
like so elusive, no one even knew.
Yeah, and then like Razer had a promotion with they had like a awesome. Yeah, like Razer does, they make great like mouse pads and shit.
Yeah,
like awesome Battlefield 4 one. Any like Battlefield, like Razer mouse product or a mouse or a controller comes with a code for exclusive Razer dog tags that you can wear. Like they have shit tons of dog tags.
Yeah,
this code didn't work for like 3 weeks. The code's for the what are those sound? What are those Filipino champ headphones? The Sound Blasters.
Sound Blasters.
Yeah, like they had promotion too. They didn't work. Axe promotion didn't work. Like the codes were redeemed.
Yeah,
everything would go through. Couldn't say it was PlayStation's fault because the code went through.
Yeah,
it gets to the servers, no dog tag, still locks.
Wow.
I don't know.
If you want to launch a game, you're going to want to do some beta testing.
You're going to want to. The beta that came out, everybody's like, "There's a shit ton of issues." Like, it's just the beta.
Yeah, that's
the game comes out. Yeah, it's a game.
It's almost like they got like the results of all the issues from the beta test, and like, I'll launch it anyway.
Yeah. Put it in the pizza.
I was saying the last successful clean launch from EA I've seen would be Dead Space 3.
Yeah.
Dead Space 3 had virtually no issues besides some one-off stuff that I never heard about again. There's no real big trending issues besides there's one point on a certain chapter where an elevator would just keep going up and up and up and up and up and up because it was a loading screen. So it took longer for some people, but sometimes it would just load. And the only fix for that was loading the checkpoint right before it.
Yeah.
Which was anyways, it would fix that, right? So that was the only thing we heard of, but it wasn't even consistent. Not a lot of people were infected, and there's bot acceleration pack. And that's about it. Didn't receive it. Xbox regrants it or something. Other than that, the game's fine.
Yeah.
Everything works. Everything's cool.
It's for having a successful launch, you guys are terminated.
If you play Mass Effect 3, or you play any of the Mass Effects, you get a N7 armor that shows up in game. Shows up in game.
Oh, nice.
Because it doesn't look for some bullshit account shit like that. It's just oh, you have a save file for Mass Effect? Hey, there it is. It's unlocked. You have a save file. That's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of searching an account and going through I don't know, just dumb shit.
Going through the internet to find a server.
Yeah, register it here and stuff. No, you have a Mass Effect save file. You obviously started up this game at one point.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you the
server.
server.
That's all you need.
I mean, that's the whole thing with Origin. I think Origin inherently is a good idea.
Yeah.
That is doing so much wrong but trying to be right.
I mean, a lot of people
and it sucks. And the program itself doesn't suck per se, but I think more the situation that they're in with Origin sucks because they're trying to make Origin your go-to thing, almost like what Microsoft is trying to do with the Xbone. They try to make it all-in-one. They're trying to make Origin the all-in-one place to go for all of your EA games. And it's just it doesn't have to be that way. Let the game servers handle all the stats and stuff. It's I understand you want this web page, or whenever you start Battlefield when you're playing it on your computer, you go to the web page first and you start the game from there. It's just since when? Why is this better? I don't think it's better. I just want to pop up the menu from my start menu, and I can click there, let the game load up, and then I'll go to multiplayer. I don't want to go to a fucking web page.
Yeah.
Just to access the fucking game.
The part is the same. You have to do the same thing. Go to that website to Battlelog. It takes you to Battlelog and shit.
Yeah.
To start up the campaign.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You go to a website to start up a single-player game.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't need online.
What world does that make sense? There's no online functions for single-player Battlefield 3 besides trophies. That's
And
about
even
it.
then, you don't need it to be online. You don't need trophies to be online.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they so desperately want Origin to be like, oh, you want to use it. It's like, but instead of making it good and just making it like attractive, like, oh, I want to get on Origin to see what they have. It's like, no, you're gonna use Origin, or you're not gonna play a damn game. You know, it's just like. That's how you know that it's not that good of a system when they have to force it down your throat. Like you said, just to play single player, you have to get on there. Like
what they should have done with Origin is like for all the Battlefield or all the Need for Speed gearheads, put forums that are directly connected on there, not just like this like faux Facebook system where you can leave comments. Like no one
the battle log
fucking
stuff,
no one gives a shit about that. You want to put forums on there and get some of the most well-known community managers from other forums, bring them over if they're willing to, which I'm more than sure that they would be.
Just annex their forums.
Yeah, more or less. Just annex their forums, or give them a paying job, or volunteer, whatever. Just make them a community manager on your forums on Origin, and let people post tutorials. Let them organize all that stuff, because that shit's gonna organize itself.
Yeah.
And then you can have on the main page on Battlelog, and just like here highlights of the week. Here's a tutorial map on how to play. Support on one of the maps, on the China Rising map or something like that. And just have stuff like that on the front fucking page.
Yeah.
Here's a good example. If you go to Steam, you have to go to Steam and just because Steam is great. Steam is good. Obviously, they people put them on this pedestal. They had their share of issues. Steam has had its share of issues.
Yeah.
They've been around for a long time, so they were able to work them all out, So, Origin's definitely a lot younger, but when you go to Steam, like, whenever you look at a game, like, even if I go, like, my library, go to Half-Life, I click on Half-Life, it has a symbol, it can launch the game, and below it has, like, forum posts and stuff, or, like, reviews, or, like, player comments that people just, like, put on there, and it shows in the Steam place, right?
Yeah.
So if you do that for any EA game, EA has help.ea.com site, origin.com website, needforspeed.com website, battlelog.com website, freaking easports.com website. They're all separate sites.
Yeah.
None of which are connected to each other.
Oh, I see.
They're just a whole bunch of random, like, you go to that site, and they're all named completely different. They have nothing to do with each other. You can't do the same thing in each one.
They need some continuity.
They do.
They do. They also, all it has to do is be consolidated. Call it Origin.
Sims3site.com website.
Yeah, Sims 3 is just like its own. It's not even like a sim log.
Sims 3 is definitely its own entity.
Yeah,
they have all their own shit on.
Because I remember when I bought the whole EA package off of Humble Bundle a couple months ago, like you had to go through a whole different process than I, because I had gotten Dead Space, I got the Sims plus another expansion pack, I got Battlefield 3, all on PC, and like 2 or 3 other games, and all I had to do was go to Origin and put in all my codes.
But not for The Sims 3.
But not for The Sims 3.
You
had to
go
go
to
to a
website.
website. You had to make an account.
Register your game.
You had to make an account there, like a separate, but the same account, I guess?
You sign in with your EA account to the Sims 3 website.
Yeah.
And if you never played The Sims before, it has you create a Sims ID, which is a separate sub-account in your EA account.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's the same login and email address and password.
Yeah.
You have to put like your Sims ID in there, which I don't know why it doesn't just use your Origin username. Because that would just complicate things if people were like, my Sims ID is taken, but my Origin ID is the same. Like,
Yeah.
Anyways, you have to do that, and then you need the base game to be able to register it. So you just have the Sims 3, make that account on the Sims site, and then it doesn't tell you where to go to register the game. You just got to go on the top left corner under whatever my account, and redeem a code.
And then it's like this little
menus.
thing at the bottom of the page where it's like, oh, right, that's where you type in the code.
Oh, and there's a different link if you're redeeming a 20-digit code versus a 15-digit code.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
I would have given up just like halfway through. Like, you know what? I don't even want to play Sims
I
anymore.
did.
I don't blame people for giving up.
I went through all of
that ball in a cup.
I will give you Dead Space 3. You will have no issues. Dead Space 1, 2, and 3. Good.
I went through all of that just to register Sims 3. Plus the expansion that came with the Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
Just for Hibiki to never play
I knew you were going with that. It's like, nah, I don't want to play.
It's like, you know what?
Mass Effect series is good.
Fuck you.
Oh, man, that's funny. Well, I was going to say, EA, I don't know. EA just has just this whole mountain of problems. So apparently, they're getting sued by their investors over the Battlefield 4 bugs. So apparently,
I want to hear about that.
Yeah, so apparently it's not just customers that are having a problem. Apparently, there's a class action lawsuit that's accusing them of lying about the Battlefield 4's development to inflate their stock prices. This says investors have filed a class action lawsuit against Electronic Arts and the Northern District of California, accusing the publisher of violating federal securities laws by making "quote-unquote" materially false and misleading statements about the development of its troubled shooter Battlefield 4 in advance of the game's launch. The suit alleges that EA and a handful of its senior executives knew the game was riddled with bugs and would fail to meet the sales targets, but lied to the company, or lied to keep the company's stock artificially high while they sold millions of dollars worth of shares.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're kind of getting reamed. So yeah, I just remember that when I had first heard about that, I didn't know the details. I didn't know it was like actual stock investors. I thought actual customers are suing it. My game is buggy. But yeah, this is even worse because this is actually something that could really harm them. But let's see. It says the suit was filed on behalf of anyone who purchased EA common stock between July 24th, the day after the company's first quarter fiscal results were announced, and December 4th, when the company announced that it's halting development of all other DICE projects to divert those resources to fixing Battlefield 4. It names Electronic Arts as defendant along with CEO Andrew Wilson, CFO Blake Jorgensen, EA Labels President Frank Gubay. Gibao. I think it's Gibao, actually, because it's Gleason Tebow, the fighter. Anyway,
EA Wilson, that's the
but he doesn't have an E in his last name.
You're an E. EA Games Executive Vice President Patrick Soderlund and EA President and COO Peter Moore. There's so many titles.
Peter Moore's the man. I love Peter Moore.
Maybe that's the problem. Can you just trim the fat and get rid of some of these CE people? Anyway.
Peter Moore's the one that universally that. Everybody who hates EA, everybody still likes Peter Moore. He's a very cool guy.
He's you
can't hate that guy.
He's the best among them.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it says, with the exception of Jorgensen, all the individuals sold at least $1 million of EA shares during the period in question. Gibao, whatever his name is, was said to benefit the most from the transactions, making $5.6 million from the stock sales on October 31st, 2 days after Battlefield 4 launched on PC, Xbone, and PS3. So I think it's kind of interesting because I wonder, if once they fix all the bugs, does it matter that it launched buggy if it's still selling a lot? If their sales trend continues, it's still positive, and let's say they break sales records from Battlefield 3, that would still keep their stock at whatever prices they sold. It didn't hurt the stock. I wonder how valid the lawsuit would be.
If everything gets fixed and shit.
Yeah, if by I don't know, the next 6 months everything's fine and dandy. The people that bought stock are not in a worse position, or even if they're in a better position.
Well, yeah, but if the game doesn't get fixed for another 6 months, there'll be heavy damage.
Already
done. Even if the game came out in a month or two, there's already been damage done, especially within the community. A lot of people have stopped playing, or how we were talking about before we just started the podcast, let's not play Battlefield 4 until everything's fixed. Let's go back to Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
There's already people that are, really big on the game and communities that are, literally falling apart.
Yeah.
Forums that have been around for a long time, or at least as long as Bad Company 2's been around, and they're closing up shop, but Battlefield 4 killed it for them. You know how I'm known as the conversation killer. Battlefield 4 is the community killer. People are just
wow.
really turned off by the game, and a lot of the original hardcore Battlefielders that were around since before Bad Company 2 that didn't care about the fucking stories and shit like that. Because the story mode didn't come around until Bad Company. And that was a primarily story-driven game with multiplayer. And then Bad Company 2 came out, and they kind of focused on both, which I think they did beautifully. That's still one of the best multiplayer games in existence.
Bad Company 2 is
along with some of the most with the best quality DLC around.
Yeah.
They had Onslaught mode, which I don't know why
Onslaught's
they never.
So cool, man.
I don't know why they never expanded on Onslaught mode. That was they're always talking about doing co-op. I don't want to do a fucking helicopter mission. Give me Onslaught mode.
Yeah.
That Onslaught mode was boss. And then Battlefield Vietnam, which I never got a chance to play, but it looked awesome. Yeah. And it was like a game within a game.
Yeah.
It was its own game.
Yeah.
With completely different settings and weapons. and stats as well. So with all that, and then Battlefield 3 comes around, and it just Call of Duty's the storyline.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a blow.
And, the story was still pretty good, but the fact that they were trying to take Call of Duty head on just was like, all right, this is a step towards degeneration of the series.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure, like, the hardcore guys that have been playing since, like, that still play 1942 to this day and still go back and be like, Battlefield 2 was, like, the best one.
Yeah.
Or, 2142 or whatever they're playing.
That's the thing, people still play those games because they're just better.
Yeah,
Like Battlefield
or Heroes. Heroes is, like, addictingly fun. I would play it more if my PC wasn't such crappy.
Well, as far as, like, the hardcore gamers and stuff, like, the people who, like, rent their own servers for their clans, that they have, like, a practice server, and they go to the ranked server where they have, like, other, play against other clans and shit.
Yeah.
People who take it seriously, like, they play Battlefield 4, they're just like, what is this? Like, why is nothing balanced? Like, how am I shooting this guy freaking twice with a shotgun, and he shoots me a few times with the M16, and I'm down.
Yeah.
And he's not. Like, blaming it on, like, oh, you have to check your internet connection. It's like, no, I shot this guy 3 times with a shotgun.
Yeah, and that was the other thing, is that the algorithm that supposedly they came up with in Battlefield is, like, incredibly confusing. I remember reading about it, and then I was listening to the Don't Revive Me Bros. I think it was, like, their second or third podcast.
Yeah.
And they had, who's that guy that does tips and stuff for Battlefield?
Oh, the one that was in that one.
Level Cap, I think that's his name. Level Cap.
Oh yeah. I think
He was on
English
there.
guy?
Yeah. No, he's American sounding at least. He might be Canadian.
He's a spy.
But anyway, no, I think you're thinking of Jack Frags. Maybe he's
Yeah.
But no, they had Level Cap on there, and they had a couple other well-known guys, but I didn't know them clearly. But they were talking about the algorithms and all the crazy shit in the game. And it's funny that they were explaining that because it made so much sense to what I was experiencing. Because, like, what will happen is I guess it kind of works a little bit on prediction. Like the algorithms that they have for the game in order to combat lag. But I think it makes it worse in a lot of cases.
The hitbox actually, it tries to, like, make up for the lag, but the fact is, like, basically the hitboxes themselves lag. Like, if you duck, your hitbox is still standing up for, like, a split second afterwards.
Yeah, for some people.
Yeah.
So it made sense because I remember, and this isn't like, oh, the game's cheating kind of bullshit talk that people have because they suck at games. I'm good at Battlefield. At the worst, I'm just plain old good at Battlefield.
The worst, you're better than me.
Yeah.
We've seen the videos.
But I'm pretty damn... I like to consider myself pretty damn good at the game.
Yeah.
And I'm working at a constant, like, 2.5 to, at best, 6 gigabyte connection.
Well, I think you understand the game. Well, speak for myself, he definitely understands it more than me. I think it's come from, like, all the... Because you mainly play, like, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2 a lot.
Yeah.
So getting that whole grasp of, like, predictions and, like, player habits and shit like that, it definitely transfers over. So you definitely know how to basically know the game, a little bit better, like tactics and shit like that.
Right.
Whereas I'm not good at shooters and, I just fucking suck. I just in there for to fucking be a meat shield and shoot a rocket launcher when need be. Kind of like Carl or Prometheus.
But
I can relate.
There was one instance while I was listening to the podcast, what Level Cap was explaining. I was like, so that explains this one instance that really bothered me and still kind of bothered me to this day, or at least until that time, where I was running through. It was a city level. I can't remember which one it was, but I was
in 3.
Battlefield 4.
4.
I was running. This was about 6-7 weeks ago, and then that was the last time I played because I was like, this lag, it's killing me. But I was running towards a door, and I saw a dude pop up, and I came to a stop first, unloaded half my magazine into him, and I was like, he's dead. He's fucking dead. And I just kept shooting straight line. I was an engineer. I had a scar. Not a scar. I think it was a scar. Anyways, it didn't matter because I was laying into him first. I was first by like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Before I saw his gunfire start spreading, and then I died like 2 seconds later. So like in this 5-second altercation, I was laying into him for a good couple seconds.
Yeah.
And then he opened fired, and I died before he did, and he was left with like 12% health, something like that. And I was like, what? Like, I was just, like, dumbfounded. I just sat there staring at the screen, like, but I clearly shot him first. Like, clearly I shot this guy first. We met at the doorway at the same fucking time. I was a little bit ahead of him because he was coming through first, and I hit him. I hit him before he had a chance to react. At least that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, well, maybe it's the lag and the hitbox lag and all that, whatever the fucking algorithms are. So I laid into him first, but the way Level Cap explained it was that in actuality, my avatar got there before he did, to where he laid into me, but that information wasn't relayed to me fast enough, and I died before I could notice. And that's confusing as shit, but I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense, and I understand it now to a degree, but it still sounds really convoluted and stupid.
It's like, all I understand is that I'm angry.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
I don't know how to process these emotions.
loud noises.
Because of all the lag in this game. So after that, I was like, all right, I'm done playing.
Yeah.
And then luckily, a couple days later, I got Tales of Xillia in the mail.
That's what I do. I go to an RPG. I'm just like, yeah, my own pace.
I mean, yeah, because
I do what I want.
Because now I'm just sticking to single player games. I've been Tales of Xillia. That's really all I've been playing.
I'm playing Dragon's Dogma.
I played a little bit of Journey recently, just for recording purposes, and went back to Tales of Xillia. I'm completely, and then I went back to playing Marvel again. But you don't need online for any of those games, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
especially like fighting games and stuff.
Yeah, but I agree.
Or somebody's.
And just going back to the original point before all this, yeah, communities are literally crumbling all around us. And I think by the time Battlefield 4 is finally up to par, I think it will have already lost a lot of its fan base. There's probably gonna be a lot of returns, like return copies to the store, to GameStop or whatever. And the few that do come back, I think, might return somewhat jaded or not as into the community as they once were.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I think you'll have, like, the Call of Duty converters. Like, yeah, you know what? This game might suck, but at least it's consistent.
At least it doesn't have a combat dog.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm talking about, they're going to Call of Duty.
Oh, well, this game has a combat dog.
Because, the game is...
Can't fuck up a game that runs on a potato.
Yeah. The game is more or less balanced more than Battlefield 4.
If you can over-polish an engine, I think they did that.
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying.
They worked. The problem's transparent.
Yeah.
Even though EA hasn't really come out and said it, at least not to my knowledge. Yeah, they worked on crazy on the graphics. They worked like crazy on the graphics.
I was talking about Call of Duty.
Day in, day out. I'm sure they were putting in like 80-hour work weeks. But the problem was that the EA bigwigs wanted this game for next-gen launch day, and they pushed it for like, this game's coming out on launch day, and that was the biggest mistake they could have made.
Yeah. Because
at best, I'm sure this game wouldn't... If the developers had their way, if DICE had their way, they probably wouldn't have released this game until June. You know?
I can see that. It's kind of like... there's one of the other articles, but I was just going to skim it.
I think March at the very earliest, but the game would have been about as buggy as Battlefield 3 when it first came out, which wasn't enough to like break the game entirely. Like the worst I think I felt in Battlefield 3, the flashlight was a bullshit thing. The helicopters were vastly overprotected, and every time I tried to use the QB-88 on the Back to Karkin maps, my gun would be like I was holding it up over my head, and when I would zoom in, it'd be zooming into my forearms.
Oh, wow.
But I was literally like, my avatar would be running with this gun over the head, but with the hands still into position like they would be if they were next to your chest.
Oh, wow.
And if you were holding the gun, not like with your eyes down the sights.
Yeah.
You were just holding the gun while you were running, but you were just holding it over your head. Like the soldiers did in Vietnam when they're walking through like the high flooded areas of the swamps and jungles.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, there is at least like some positive news concerning Battlefield 4. they're coming out with a patch. Puts an end to kill trading, which I have never heard that until I read this article. But apparently, it's I guess whenever two people, I guess it's some issue with timing where two people kill each other like simultaneously. So I guess it fixes some other stuff. I guess that was the biggest thing.
So basically, as far as updates goes for Battlefield 4, they have on the battle log, they have a control center page. They've been patching this game like every week.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so it's like these kind of like this is definitely a huge patch, but like stuff like patches like half this size or even close to this size have been released like almost weekly.
Wow.
The game is still full of bugs. I mean, I don't know. All these issues still like feel like they're getting like they're still like being experienced. Like Buddy Ingredients. He plays it. Yeah, RFP. He's been playing it since he came out, right? On his PC. And all sometimes you'd be like, man, I've been playing Battlefield 4. Like, what the fuck? Like, why did I just crash randomly, or get desynced, or like kill somebody with C4, but the C4 doesn't recognize for the assignments.
Yeah.
Like the kill never recognizes, so you can't complete the assignment because it doesn't recognize C4 kills. You're just like shit. Like like one of those assignments that say like kill somebody with a sniper rifle, DMR, and C4 in one round. One of those assignments. Okay. So you do them all, and then like get that C4 is like done. Kill that guy with the C4, and the C4 kill doesn't register. And you're trying to get that weapon. Like pretend it was like a MP5 Navy that's supposed to unlock, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like I just killed that guy. Like give me my Navy. Like, well, no, it's not going to register. Like, it's just not working. You're like, what a shitty way to find out that that's not working. You just work so hard to get all these kills in one round. It's just like, nah, you're not going to wait for a patch, and they may or may not know about that.
Yeah.
Or even in our instance, the Forever Ocean.
It's just like,
Oh, my God, yeah.
Has anyone else experienced that?
The what?
The Forever Ocean?
I've never. I could ask around.
Yeah, just for people that don't know, like we're playing the single-player campaign. I don't know exactly what level we were in, but there's one where you're supposed to board some type of like aircraft carrier, like you're on a boat.
It's when you're investigating that busted up ship that was supposed to bail you out.
Yeah.
But bail your naval ship out.
No.
So then you go to investigate, you end up fighting some Chinese soldiers, and then you got to make your way off the ship, and when you jump out, you get into like an enemy gunboat. And then that's where the battle ensues. So it's that part of the mission. I forget what chapter it is, but it's that part of the story.
It's like the second or third chapter.
So you're in that gunboat, and you have to head back to the USS, I forget whatever the fuck it's called.
USS
and
Buggy.
You're getting attacked by other gunboats and the little raft boats that have machine guns on them. So you're shooting them down and driving at the same time while your buddies are giving you backup on the 50 cals.
Yeah.
And we were making our way. I died a couple of times. But when I finally got it, was able to make it back, the only thing left to kill was the helicopter. And I was like chasing the helicopter for forever. And no matter how close I got to the naval ship, I was always like 100 yards away.
I kept saying like you're getting closer.
Like once you got closer, then it would start moving up faster, so you could never reach it.
But it was like moving in circles for some reason. Or I don't know if that's even possible. Maybe it just kept going.
No, dude,
forever.
that was a mirage or something.
yeah, it was never there.
So I didn't know how to like unfix it. We
like
spent
Bermuda
like 30
shit.
minutes.
It was like 30 minutes of never catching
maybe
up.
longer. We're gonna post it up probably in the next week or two.
It turns out that helicopter you're shooting at the whole time, that was the thing that you're supposed to destroy, but it became invincible.
Yeah.
It's like somehow.
Yeah, because it was all glitched up. Yeah, because you had to destroy the helicopter to get on the ship, but you couldn't destroy the helicopter, and the ship's just like, well, I'm not letting you on till you destroy it.
I think it's still because you got to that point, like you got close enough to the ship to where you could like have started like docking and shit, but then you like pulled away to go fight the guys behind you that you left behind. So you like backtracked and killed those dudes, and when you came back, you could never catch up to the ship or the helicopter.
Yeah,
again.
I have to rewatch the footage, but that shit was crazy.
And that's the only thing I can think of, because you went up to the ship and then you made a U-turn. It's like, well, I'm going to kill these fools. And you just went back, killed them, and then you came back and just like never caught up again.
Access denied.
Because that whole thing literally made us start our podcast that day like 40 minutes late.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was like 8:40 by the time we started.
Yeah. But yeah, they have a long way to go to make Battlefield, like, in a lot of cases, just playable. Like, not only just, like, better, but, like, yeah, it's like, I don't know, like, just going back to, like, the people suing them, it's like, I think they kind of have, I don't think it's, like, that frivolous. It's like, they really did just launch a completely broken game. And in the article, it was talking about how they're, like, building it up. It's like, oh, yeah, we're very proud of this game. It's going to be really great, and buy our stock. And then the game comes out, and it's just like, probably should have finished this before we launched it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I don't know if it was necessarily like malicious, because like Agamemnon mentioned, like they were trying to get it ready for that PlayStation 4 launch. You know, it was one of the bigger launch games. You know, Watch Dogs already had pulled out, so it's kind of like, well, we have to have some launch games for PS4. So I don't know. I just really hope that they get their act together, because obviously, you know, they usually make good games. It's just like their launches has just been very shaky. So. But on the upside, they scored a 100% for workplace equality.
Yeah.
That's always good. Everyone loves equality and all that. But apparently the Human Rights Campaign names EA one of the best places to work in the U.S. So, yeah. So there you go. It's like you might be frustrated with their games, but if you work there, you might be happy, according to this arbitrary study.
Yeah. I just want to go through a couple of these fixes that sound really ridiculous.
Yeah.
A fix for a crash, and I guess these are for PC.
Let me get some water real quick.
Fix for a crash that would cause the game to stall, resulting in a sound loop. This should eliminate most of the problems relating to this. Fix one of those issues related to the so-called quote-unquote netcode. So I guess it's a fictional thing or something.
The netcode. The netcode is this abstract idea.
Fix for player tags not always showing when needed to, resulting in players shooting team members. Wow. Fix for graphical flickering appearing on terrain. Fix the instance where players suddenly would transition into spectator mode while playing the diffuse game mode. Fix for a diffuse bug where none of the teams would win a round by letting the timer run out. Fix for players getting stuck in the revive screen after being killed. Another one for players getting stuck in the kill camera after being revived.
Oh my god. This needs to be like fix for everything.
Fix for the game mode specific ribbons being counted twice in the multiplayer progression.
Like when I started playing Battlefield 4, I did really shitty compared to Battlefield 3, and I'm just gonna blame that the game is broken for all of my foibles.
Made NVIDIA 331.82 or later driver versions mandatory for all players. So unless you had like great graphics,
that driver I believe is the driver that was released on Battlefield 4 launch. When the game launched for PC, launched to a black screen.
Wow.
Because I don't know if it was the game, which I'm thinking is the game, but NVIDIA and AMD, who makes the Radeon graphics cards, they both put out patches. They both put out beta drivers that day to fix issues with Battlefield 4.
Oh, wow.
So apparently they're just like, hey, you have to have these drivers now.
Yeah, disable DirectX 11.1 on NVIDIA cards that have outdated drivers.
If you have outdated drivers, it won't let you even attempt to launch Battlefield 4.
Wow.
Which I don't know if that's a good idea or not.
Fixed driver version not being properly detected on NVIDIA Optimus systems. Fix the minor crash that would occur when bringing up the scoreboard.
Only a minor crash.
Oh, yeah, I think a crash is a fucking crash. Minor or major, it's still a crash.
Minor crash sounds like a Tourette's or something like. Sorry about that minor crash.
You just crashed
Oh,
into
it's
the wall.
netcode in freaking quotes. Is that what you're talking about?
Okay, so the kill trading refers to when two players fire at each other and seemingly both die at the same time. The time window where a bullet could cause damage from an already dead player is now calculated as intended, decreasing the time frame when players with high latency could get a kill, even though they should be dead according to the server.
Well, maybe that sounds like what happened to you.
Yeah, it might have actually been, except I didn't. I died, the other asshole.
Well, you say it's the same thing like in Bad Code 2, whenever you would like kill somebody. Because there's a lot of times in Bad Code 2 where you would die at the same time as somebody else.
Yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily call it.
Their spirit killed you.
I did always hate that a lot. Like, I killed you first. But it was good when you were on the receiving end of a kill. Because, like, this dude would kill you, and then I whip out, like, my revolver and get, like, 2 shots in. And we died at the same time. It was like,
Yeah.
But you died having to jump on me.
Yeah. You just turned around and, like, out there, and just killed him.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, shit, he's behind me. Boom, 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 boom. I would just unload, and then I was like, shit. But then I saw his body fall over, and I get 100 points. Like, yeah!
Nice. And then you just, like, die of your wounds.
I avenged myself.
Nice. Avenge me, boy! Well, yeah. Well, Apparently, Battlefield 4 is not the only thing having problems. Call of Duty Ghost is showing a sharp decline. So apparently Ghost was the best-selling game of last month, but unfortunately for Activision, investors care about how it did compared to last year's Tilt more than how it compared to the competition. So as reported by VentureBeat, Cohen and Company analyst Doug Krititz sent a note to investors today warning that Ghost sales aren't measuring up to its competitors, so they're small in the pants. You ain't measuring up, Ghost. So their sales were down 19% compared to Call of Duty Black Ops 2 after November last year. This is a side note. This is like, well, what do you expect? It's like pretty much the same fucking rehashed game. Like, people aren't going to get like that enthusiastic about this game like forever. It's like the party's got to end eventually.
Yeah.
It's like sooner or later selling people the same shit. They're going to be like, you know what? We like it, but kind of getting old there.
Yeah, it's like vividly familiar.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
kind of
right.
sick of it. Like, it was what pissed me off was that they were supposed to have like these next gen graphics. And, like, look at these detailed environments. I was like, yeah, that was kind of like a big thing in like Bad Company 2. Not only were they detailed, but they were also destructible environments.
Yeah,
they had trees you could run through, and then tanks that could take those trees down and completely change the landscape of not only the actual landscape but the way you also play the game. So yeah, you're still behind by about 5 years.
Yeah, they're still stuck in the digital dust.
But all these idiots still play this game because they're just like mind-numbingly stupid.
Well, I mean, I can see the whole appeal because it's like if you liked one, and then it's just like, oh, I love this game, and then it's like the next game comes out. It's almost like it's like a Will Ferrell movie. Like you know what you're gonna get, so it's hard to be disappointed with a Call of Duty game.
Yeah, but Will Ferrell is very diverse.
Okay,
I
Will
don't agree with the analogy or the insinuation that Will Ferrell is a hack.
I agree with what you said.
He's not a hack, but he pretty much plays the same character in every movie. Like you know what you're gonna get.
With
the exception of like one or two movies.
Yeah, where like Everything Must Go and that other one.
Stranger Than Fiction.
Yeah, Stranger Than Fiction. But for the most part, I mean, you're not going to... Like, if you love his sense of humor, you're very unlikely to be disappointed by a movie that he does. Yeah. Because you already know what you're going to get. Call of Duty is like, for diehards, it's just like, all right, I already know what it's going to get. The graphics might be slightly updated. I already know what I want. But the
graphics never really got updated.
Okay, well, then they love those same graphics from back from the Stone Age when... used to have to pedal their cars like Flintstones, but it's like they're not getting anything new, but it's like they apparently don't want anything new. They're satisfied with the same rehash, But I mean, like I'm saying, like it's eventually going to slow down because eventually, like there's going to still be that hardcore contingent, but you're not going to be able to get like so many people excited about the same thing. Eventually, they're going to be like, all right, well now Titanfall is out. I want to play that. I want a new experience, Like you can only keep the hype train up for so long.
Right.
But speaking of games that are rehashes, apparently, so we've been playing Let's Plays of Tomb Raider, and now they're going to bring it to the PS4 and Xbox One, and they claim it's not simply a facelift, which is funny because when they explain what it is, where is it now? It made me laugh. It says we're selling it on a new platform with a lot of development work put into the custom craft for new platforms. Scott Amos, executive producer, says on Eidos forums, with the new additions to the aesthetics, the physics, the particles, the lighting, take advantage of next-gen features. So it's absolutely stand by our decision to offer up the definitive edition the way we are. The Definitive Edition has been updated specifically for the new consoles and will include Tomb Raider of the Lost Adventure DLC, 6 outfits for Lara Croft, a mini art book and digital comic titled The Beginning. Square Enix said Lara was obsessively detailed for DE, as the game will run on the native 1080p resolution. It's just like, okay, so you're going to make it prettier. So it is just a fucking facelift. It's like, okay, I understand, like, maybe they're going to add a few more mechanics. But it's like, if you really wanted to make, like, just make a new fucking game. Like, this game came out, this game came out in March. And
I think what it's more of a case of was, like, they made the game, like, high def. But then for the PS3, they kind of had to dumb it down a little bit.
Yeah.
So the resolution isn't as great as it should be.
Yeah.
So when they're making it for the PS4, it's kind of like, I don't know how, and we can't really make a good judgment until we see some footage of it. But I'm guessing like she's gonna have actual hair with strands that blow in the wind.
Well, the thing is that the PC version of Tomb Raider had better like hair like hair stuff. Like her hair was like the biggest thing that stood out on the PC version.
She had a lot of bounce.
So the PC version was, I think it was like the best version of it, but it only had like a few quirks. It wasn't like all that stuff that they said they're gonna add, but
yeah,
it definitely had definitely like better frames per second, and the hair physics were like all flowing and shit.
They didn't have digital mini art books.
No.
But I don't know. It's just the fact that, okay, like, so this game's going to come out next January, and the original game came out in March of this year. So it's just like 2 months away, and you're just going to re-release the same game. Like, I don't know. That just rubs me the wrong way. Like, I get it. Like they're like, okay, well, they want people to experience, like, this is the best this Lara Croft game can be. But it's like, you could just make a game specifically for that system. Like, make a sequel. Like, make another prequel. She's, like, in the womb, and she's got to fight the doctor trying to pull her out. I don't know. It's just like...
That'd be pretty sweet.
It's just like, okay, I understand, like, with Battlefield 4 and, I think Killzone was also on PS3.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, with these games, okay, they came out very close to the launch of the system, so it made sense to have them for both systems. But it's like, we got to go back in time to, like, earlier in the year and, like, oh, let's remake these games, too. Like, let's go back and make God of War 3 for the PS4. It's like, come on, guys. Like, let's fucking make new games.
Some money grab, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So it just annoys me. It's just like, okay, I'm sure their definitive edition will be a better version, but it's like, you know what I'd rather have?
I mean, from what Beetle also said, it's probably just going to be, like, the PC version released for...
Yeah, with a few tweaks and a digital art book.
Yeah. The example of that is freaking, I'm playing Dragon's Dogma, it's a game I love, Capcom game. I'm playing the Dark Arisen, which is the... So, there's one thing you got to know before going in. Dragon's Dogma, when you play it, it will be widescreen. Yeah. It's widescreen by default, and you can't change it. You're always going to have the black bar on the bottom, black bar on the top. And it's a little bit of a fuzzy-looking game.
Oh, so it's cinematic form.
Exactly, and the graphics are a little bit fuzzy, but the graphic style of it is awesome. Like, I love the game. Like, it looks great. I really enjoy it. Great gameplay and everything. So they re-released this Dark Arisen. They re-released Dragon's Dogma, the same game. Yeah. Except it's called Dark Arisen. And it's supposed to it has like HD install content. The biggest thing about Dragon's Dogma I already said is like, give us a video option to just change the resolution. Yeah. That's all we want to do, change the resolution so it can be full screen for the people who want it, you know? Because widescreen, you get used to it after a while, and, you know, the only times when I don't like the widescreen is when you go into like a cinematic portion, then it goes widescreen again, like for those actual like widescreen moments. Yeah. So you have like the fucking fat ass black bars. Yeah. But that doesn't happen very often. But anyways, they re-released it, so it's HD, right? So it's a whole separate disc for the HD install of it. So I was like, that's gonna look great. Yeah. Like, it's not gonna look as fuzzy. You know, it's gonna have full screen. I can enjoy everything, and it has like a whole another like boss mission at the end. So it's gonna be fucking sick. So that's why I have my save file, and I'm doing the second playthrough. And they didn't give an option for that. And then even the HD content, it looks a little bit better. Yeah. But I bought the game again, and it looks a little bit better, and it's still widescreen all the time.
Oh, I see.
Which I got used to, but I thought it was going to change.
But you can always change the settings on your remote.
Well, no, it's the game resolution with the Xbox 360 itself. So certain TVs will play it, but the majority of people who have those black bars, I mean, like on Carlisle's, he might have like smaller, like on Prometheus' TV, it might have like smaller black bars, but it's still going to be there, you know?
Yeah. That's really lame, because like if you're going to have to buy a whole new game, it would be different if that was like free DLC, here, have some HD textures. Yeah. It was like to have to buy a whole new game and then still have the same problem that like everyone's been like, hey, can we get rid of those bars?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty lame.
I was like, how hard is it? And they didn't even like ad-free content. Bullshit. Like, give me all that DLC that you fucking put on your marketplace for free.
Give me all that on-disc DLC, Capcom.
Yeah. Fuck you for this game being entertaining.
Yeah, right. I can only hate you so much. Yeah. The worst part about Capcom, love them, but you also hate them. But here's a game that I know we're all excited about: Rainbow Six Patriots.
Yay.
So apparently they got to remake the game, and it may get a new name. But they said it will benefit from the new consoles if and when it comes out.
So essentially, it's getting like the Duke Nukem treatment.
Hopefully, it won't be that bad. We'll hopefully see it in the next before 9 years is up, or 10 years. But apparently, it's quote unquote still cooking, and had to be moved over to the next generation consoles. Actually, I'd say it'd be more like Final Fantasy Versus, And well, I guess I think you're kind of speculating that they're always making that for a new console. But I'm guessing this complete blind assumption is the development cycle ran too long, and by that time it's PS4 is out, so we might as well just make it for PS4.
Right.
And they probably also have other development issues. But they said we had a core team. They had a good vision. They got started, and then the game wasn't working, so they had to start again. I love it. That's just as cut and dry as it gets. It was going good. Fucked up, so we just scrapped that shit and made it over again. So it says, Rainbow had to be remade. He continued. Now they're going to have the benefit of the new console, and if and when it comes out. If we don't fuck it up this time, it's one of those examples where you try, it doesn't work for you. You try again, it doesn't work, and we're not going to bring it to you. Additionally. DTOC commented on the speculation that the game may drop the Patrix moniker in lieu of something more appropriate, depending on whether the developers change the game thematic tones. So, could it be a shooter with another name in the end? Because the team doesn't want to do counter-terrorist guys. They say they want to do a mercenary setting, and that's possible. So basically, so it's okay. So I was thinking they just had to they were remaking the same game, but apparently it might be a completely different game.
So it might not even be called Rainbow anymore.
I guess not if they're going to be mercenaries, unless Rainbow's
Rainbow is the counter-terrorism unit. Yeah.
Well, maybe he's just they're branching out. They're joining Blackwater.
Yeah,
tacky wraparounds.
Let's do Rainbow something else, because Rainbow's 6.
Yeah,
it's technically a person. It's 6.
Yeah. Okay, I was thinking
the dude that's head of the Rainbow unit. So I guess they could do a Rainbow something, or if they're mercenaries, that wouldn't even be.
Could it be Mercenary 6? If he's leading the mercenaries,
that'd be sick.
Rainbow :
But they would still have military strategies and stuff. We got to report back just like we usually do.
I mean, I'd be all for a name change, because every time I hear Patriots, I just think of Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, that's Patriots. True. That's the first thing I think of as well. Metal Gear's always been about the Patriots and shit like that. So I've always thought about Metal Gear when I hear the word Patriot.
Yeah, so they may not want to keep that name after all.
I think not even being biased, I'm pretty sure Metal Gear has the word Patriot fucking everybody's ingrained to any MGS player's soul. They hear Patriots and Lolly Lule Low every fucking game.
Oh my god. Kuwabara. But
yeah,
but I love the fact that they were just this game's not working. We're not going to give you a shitty game. We're going to work on it until it works. And if it doesn't, we're just not going to put it out.
Yeah.
So props to Ubisoft for having the balls to do that. Yeah. Instead of releasing half-broken games and telling investors that it was doing really good.
I agree with Ubisoft.
Yeah. So Ubisoft, you get a gold star, but I still really want to see that Rainbow Six game.
On the polar opposite of that spectrum, what's up with Team Ico and The Last Guardian? What's going on there? They gonna keep delaying it?
Yeah, they're just gonna permanent development limbo.
I have something to say about Street Fighter.
Go ahead.
If you can.
Yeah.
So on Capcom Cup, just a touch up. I don't know if either of you watched Capcom Cup.
No.
A couple weekends ago. It was at least I watched some of the Street Fighter. I think I watched most of the Street Fighter one. But Street Fighter Cross Tekken was boring as fuck. So Marvel vs. Capcom was hype as shit. It's the hypest I've seen Marvel in a long time, dude.
Oh wow.
It was because it was just top 8. There was just 8 people. That's all it was. There was an invitational, and it wasn't a lot of people. It was just 8 Marvel players.
Yeah.
And it was fucking it was what you would expect, 8 of the best players. And it was they weren't even the best players. The thing about Capcom Cup that got a lot of people angry is that there were people in Marvel that shouldn't have been there because people were for Marvel specifically, people were voted in by favorites.
Gotcha.
So for Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition 2012,
Ultra.
They did the whole World Warrior tournament like they did in the old school Street Fighters. Where you go from place to place.
See.
So in Japan, they had a tournament. Whoever qualified there, they have one spot, in there. So. People like Infiltration and Daigo didn't make it because they didn't qualify for it.
Oh, wow.
So if they were favorites, they would have gotten voted into that game. But no, Street Fighter 4 did it right with that one because there were qualifiers all around the world. Yeah. And then a special invitation to the Evo champ, which is pretty cool. So I think they did that right. I wish they did that for Marvel, but for Marvel, they just they had fans voting their favorites. So there's people like Kane Blue River and Abigail and Nemo that got into that tournament who are not top players.
Gotcha.
They're favorites. They're awesome players. They're favorites, but they're not none of them are top 8 material. You know what I mean? They're the they're cool players to watch. They're unique. They use like low tier to like mid tier characters, and they're entertaining.
Gotcha.
Entertaining doesn't win tournaments. You know what I mean? You get in there against Chris G. Chris G. He literally murdered them, and the first 4 matches we're basically sorting out. We're basically eliminating them.
Wow.
And it was kind of bad. Because it was just kind of like, well, this is boring, you know?
Yeah.
And then when it gets like them, Kane Blue River got eliminated first. He's the Chilean guy that used the Hulk Sentinel Hagar.
Oh,
the guy that just bops people, like, you know, if he touches you, your whole team's dead. He got eliminated. He didn't win one match. He got, because, you know, it's double elimination. So he got beat twice. Marlon Pie was there, and you know the Asian guy.
Oh yeah.
That Agamemnon said has small hands. He was there. He won one. Then he got eliminated pretty quickly. Abigail, he's the fucking Tron, Thor, She-Hulk player.
Oh wow.
So
that's a unique team.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely low tier, and this ass team got eliminated second. And anyways, like, they got through them, and then you obviously know Yipes. Yeah. Yipes, I don't know, have you ever heard of Nemo?
Nemo sounds familiar.
Nemo's a Japanese player that's been infamous for being really good in long sets. So he beat Chris G in a first to 20. It was like 17 to 20. He beat F Champ in a first to 20. It was like 15 to 20. He beat a whole bunch of top players, right? So everybody was hyped to see him there. Yeah. Apparently he's very inconsistent because when he went to Evo, he got eliminated in like random player really early on. So he knows matchups, and he was kind of a nut. Anyways, just kind of long story short, basically when he got into this kind of tournament setting, he went against up against Yipes, who is you know, fan favorite. You know, everybody loves Yipes. Fucking everybody wants to see this Dante, best Dante in the world. So he brought his Dante. He brought a Wesker, Dante, and like Virgil team or something, Wesker, Dante, Magneto, and he freaking beat Nemo. Just like took him out. Damn. He beat F Champ twice.
Oh wow!
And eliminated F Champ. And Yipes was fucking like he was just on a roll. So basically, Yipes is the fan favorite. Nobody's expecting him to win. Yeah. He's not expecting to win. So he goes there to have fun, and he gets all the way to grand finals with Chris G.
Oh wow!
Chris G just takes him out like quickly. So it wasn't even a fight, but you know, like him going up the ladder, and all the fights after like those first 3 guys got eliminated were hype as shit, dude. Nice. Like they're all actual matches. Like the first thing that everybody would just seem like. Because the first 3 matches were literally 3-0s. Yeah. Like a 3-0 done, 3-0 done, Chris G comes 3-0 done. Wow. You know, so it was really entertaining after all that. Street Fighter was really entertaining. It was just a bunch of... It was nothing but Asian players, except for Chris G. Chris G is the only American that made it. Oh, wow. Out of, like, Justin Wong and shit. Yeah. Because he eliminated Justin Wong.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like the U.S. qualifier. Anyways, I forget. I think he got eliminated, maybe like second or something. Because I guess these Asian dudes, man, they just wreck your shot, man. But they did good. So I guess to wrap it up. But anyway, what I was gonna say, I made this way too long. I'll just talk about Capcom Cup in general. But the main thing is, who's the guy that made Street Fighter, or who's making Street Fighter? The developer, whatever his name is.
Ono.
Yeah, Ono. I think it's him. He gave out a hint about the 5th character, okay. And he said like during the whole thing, he was like rambling on for a really long time, kind of how I am, and he was saying like I want to like at the very beginning, my the white dude, whatever, the spokesman that was hosting the Capcom Cup, he's like he told you at the very beginning that there's an announcement today for Street Fighter 4, and he told you straight up that it's not going to be the 5th character. Yeah, he's like. Well, he is probably going to be mad at me what I'm about to say. So everybody's like, oh, shit, is he just about to say the character? So he didn't say the character name, but he did say it's a woman. So we can narrow it down. Do you remember Maki?
Maki from Rival Schools?
From CVS? Yeah. You think she would be in it?
Possibly.
Because he said she wasn't in any other Street Fighter.
True, but does Capcom vs. SNK count as a Street Fighter? Because I don't know, like, how specific they're getting. Like, do the verses still... Because they're technically not Street Fighters. They're not in the numbered series. But they are still in, like, the Capcom fighting game realm.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't know. It's hard to say. Cause it's so vague, you know?
Yeah, so that's the whole thing. I get the main thing to take away is that really big... Like, he dragged it... Like, he said, like, all these things. He's like, it's not... Retsu, I don't know who Retsu is, but he said it's not Retsu. Yeah. You know who Retsu is?
I have no idea.
I have no idea fucking idea who that is.
Retsu?
He said it's not Retsu. I think he might have been a little bit drunk because he was like rambling for a long time. He was like, and it's not
Not Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, well, he was speaking Japanese the whole time, and his translator was just kind of like, "You gonna say something?" But anyways,
he couldn't even follow him.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, then he ended up saying like it's a woman, and that's about it. So at least we narrowed it down that far. And I feel the same way that I was when they first announced, like they first said there's gonna be a fifth character, but they never announced it. Yeah. I thought you were gonna be underwhelmed when they actually do announce it. You think so?
They've dragged it out way too much. Yeah. They should have announced the first 4, maybe waited 2 weeks tops, and then announced the fifth character. Because now, like, your expectations are like, who could it be? It's gonna be this amazing character no one's ever thought of, and then the character's probably gonna be cool. But because they've hyped it up so much, it's like there's no way that it can fit like the anticipation unless it's gonna be like it's gonna be Ryu's mom. You know, or she has, like, double air fireballs or some shit like that, or, like, Kuma's grandmother or something. So you know, like, unless it's, like, a character like that that's just, like, insane, never even heard of.
I want to do a Raging Demon with her.
But, like, it'd have to be something like that. Like, if it's an existing character, I can't think of anybody where people are going to be like, oh, my God, it's the person that was in the background of Chun-Li's stage.
Well, Ultra David and James Chen.
Ultra?
Yeah, pretty Ultra David and James Chen. That game is boring as fuck. Killer Instinct.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
combo starter.
During that whole thing, because the Street Fighter tournament was about to start, this was in between an exhibition between Infiltration and Filipino Champ in Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
Like their testing that they're taking around, having everybody test out. So the test build of Ultra Street Fighter 4. It was in between that exhibition and then the Street Fighter 4 tournament.
Gotcha.
So that's when the guy was like rambling on and stuff, and you can kind of see on the faces of like Ultra David and James Chen, where the guy was like, dancing around it, saying like it's not going to be this person, it's not going to be this person. You can see like on their expressions because they didn't show a bunch of crowd shots, but when you showed them, you kind of get this feeling like they were thinking like, well, who else could it be? Because who cares about anybody that hasn't already been mentioned?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's kind of like the faces that everybody had. It's like, if you eliminated the people that we thought it was going to be, like nobody's looking forward to what you're going to announce. That's what it seemed in the room, right? It's like, well, everybody. If you just eliminate everybody's favorites or who everybody wants to be in it, like the face. I guess you have to see it, but they're just kind of like, tell us or get the fuck out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just like, tell us or let us start the fucking tournament. That's what it seemed like. Because he looked at them, he's like, here's a treat for James Chen and Ultra David. I'll tell you one thing, it's not Retsu. And he directed it at James Chen. And James Chen looked at the camera, he's like, you just, all you can do when there's a fucking Capcom exec, you just smile and wave.
That's funny. It's going to end up being like Roll for Mega Man or some shit.
I don't even know who that is.
She's like, okay, like, I don't know if she was even in the game. I remember from the cartoon.
Her name is Roll?
Yeah, her name's Roll. Because remember, Mega Man was originally, like, in the Japanese version, he's Rockman.
Oh,
so obviously his sister's going to be Roll.
Yeah, okay.
But, like, yeah.
Obviously.
So she's just like another robot who's, I don't think she even has any powers.
It's not Zero?
No. Even though Zero kind of
what is Zero in the Mega Man? Do you know?
I don't remember.
He's friend or is he an enemy?
I think they're allies. I think he just because he came about in like Mega Man X, so maybe he was just like an upgrade. It's like Mega Man needs a new playmate.
Upgrades. Yeah.
So honestly, I don't remember. I'm so terrible at Mega Man.
Yeah.
I could only ever beat like that first stage, and then like the ones where you have to beat those bosses. I could never get past that shit.
Oh man. Oh, one last thing about Capcom Cup. During every match, because Combo Fiend was on the mic the whole time.
Yeah.
He kept asking people because there's a site called One Frame Link, and they're doing like polls in the beginning of each match or in the middle of each match, and so like a set, like we're doing like a 3 out of 5, right?
Yeah.
So after each match, like I win one, you win one. Like after each one. Combo Fiend kept putting out like a poll. It's like, who's your favorite? Like, who's gonna win this match? Like between Filipino Champ and like Yipes or something like that. So like, it's between like the Yipes and Filipino Champ session. Like everybody was on F Champ and nobody was on Yipes. Yipes is the favorite, but like in all actuality, he's not really gonna win a tournament. And so like the see that change like constantly, like somebody wins the match, like they get boosted up, and every time the thing that made me laugh that never changes. Every time. As much hate as people give to Chris G, every time Chris G went up there, it was like 90% in favor of Chris G.
Yeah.
Like, Chris G's gonna win. He's like, like, it's like, well, to put it more, like, Combo Fiend's like, put it more specifically, everybody wants Chris G to lose, But all actuality, he's probably going to take this tournament.
Yeah, you know he's going to win.
Yeah, you know he's going to take the tournament. And, oddly enough, Justin Wong gave him the biggest run for his money, and he just cleaned the floor with everybody else.
Oh, wow.
What are you going to do? But yeah, it was the Marvel was entertaining, so if you go to the twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters or the youtube.com/Capcom Fighters, you can watch the sets there. They've already uploaded them all to YouTube.
Nice.
So I would definitely watch the Marvel sets. They're really entertaining. Street Fighter 4 ones are cool. If you like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, you can watch it.
I like when
really
you mentioned
boring.
it, I was like, people still play that game.
It was the first game. It was that, and then Marvel, then Street Fighter. But yeah, like I don't really mind Street Fighter being last because Street Fighter can get really hype when it's like two really good players. But Marvel was definitely more hyped than it has been in a while.
Yeah.
So it was. I definitely recommend going to Capcom Fighters and watching the Marvel tournaments, or watch all of them. But that was definitely the highlight of it. Yipes beating Nemo and Yipes beating F-Champ. So those are the two highlights for me.
Nice.
So all in all, it was a good tournament, and it's nice to see that Capcom do a really good event. Because everything was really successful at the tournament.
Oh, nice.
The stream was up because Capcom did everything themselves. So like the stream was good. There wasn't that much lag. I mean, towards the beginning there was kind of some issues, but everything else ran pretty smoothly. They were on time with the schedules.
Oh, okay.
So they ran it really well. So
I wish they would do more tournaments.
exactly, they did a really good job, and it was like for all the players, like it looks like everybody was like well taken care of.
Yeah.
They had a separate bar that had the stream set up in there, so you can just sit at the bar like upstairs and like watch the tourney downstairs. Like it's pretty sweet. I would like to have been there because it sounds really cool.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, it's good to see that Capcom has at least some interest in the community. You know what I mean?
It almost seems like it's still secretly just to promote Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Yeah, like they won't let it go.
It's dead, guys. Let it. I was gonna say when you're recommending, it's like I would recommend watching the Marvel and the Street Fighter. It's like I'd recommend Street Fighter Cross Tekken if you have like insomnia and you can't sleep.
Yeah, that would definitely make you go to sleep. Just you just hear blocks all day, and then a timeout.
Just jab.
One good thing about Street Fighter Cross Tekken, it's not even has anything to do with the game. It's just that somebody like for the PC version, somebody modded the game, and Lars Anderson, from Tekken. Yeah, so somebody redid his sprite. And it's it's Raiden from Revengeance.
Oh,
exactly.
Nice. That's awesome.
Exactly. Like he fits in the game perfectly.
Yeah.
It's the exact Raiden from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Nice.
And it's fucking. And here's Lars. That's just his costume. Like somebody modded it.
Yeah.
To have him. They did like a lot of stuff. They put like more Revengeance characters, but it's fucking sick.
That's badass.
It looks really cool. Like you go to the main menu, it's like he's like in the verses, like the loading menu. And he gets in there, he's just fucking Raiden, except it's Lars's moves and stuff. It's pretty sick that people can do that.
That's one of the things I really miss about PC. Like all the mods.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
Really cool mods.
If Marvel was on PC, we could have Cyclops and shit. Yeah, it'd be good.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
But yeah, that was pretty cool seeing that because it was like really fucking well done. I don't know how they do that shit. It was like the sprite taken like straight from Revengeance, same quality, and like put into that game. It looked really cool.
Magic. Yeah, I was watching this one video and somebody made a Game of Thrones mod for Skyrim.
Nice.
Like, oh, sweet. So, like, renames, like, all the characters and stuff, and, like, if they're, like, the Starks, they have, like, the direwolf, like, sigil and all that. I'm like,
that's pretty badass.
That. Yeah.
I would definitely play like that.
Because I remember way back in the day, what game was it? I want to say it was it Daggerfall? That might be how far back it was.
Oh, man.
I can't even remember, but I remember they had, like, modded up the game to be, like, some type of, like, samurai game and stuff.
Oh, man.
But it's, like, they're just, like, the things that you can do on PC. It's like, as much as I love console gaming, it's like, when I see the mods, it's like, oh, these sound really cool. It's like just to go back to, like, Counter-Strike. Like, Counter-Strike was a mod. Like, it became, like, its own game, its own community. And I just love, like, the creativity that people can put in when they do mods.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. One day I'll get a PC that can actually handle more than solitaire.
Good shit.
And ski-free.
Ski-free.
Game of the year right there.
It is. Game of the fucking century.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Do that abominable snowman.
Oh, yeah. That instant kill.
They should make like a sequel. You come back as like a zombie. Ski zombie. I'll play it. Yeah. But yeah, well, now that Agamemnon is escaped to Kirby Dreamland.
I'm trying my best.
It's all good,
listening,
man.
But it's like I'm...
It was all good. We've been talking for like the last 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. But Yeah, but be sure to check us out,
What is it doing?
punchingthewallsreality.com. Obviously, of course, this is Prometheus.
This is Bobby Beetle.
And this is Agamemnon.
This has been Safe File Corrupted.
Wanna take you for a ride. 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 Wanna take you for a ride.
Hi, this is Jeff from the 12A Podcast. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this show, please make sure to check out more on 4eyeradio.com.